Okay, here is my outline. I have my 3 rehearsal times on the back. I have audience 1, 2, 3. Cameraman is audience 4. There you go. I didn't press stop like I always do. This is a persuasive speech. Anna Gradovov, who was an attorney at Lexington Law, wrote in an article that was published on 3/14/2022. In 2021, the federal government spent nearly $1.5 trillion on welfare programs in the United States. In 2022, $1.3 trillion is projected. What do we think that our 2023 numbers are going to look like? Do we think they're going to be higher, or do we think they're going to be less? The reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is because it can affect your family and your friends. It affects everybody who is a tax-paying dollar citizen, which are most of you, and it raises the possibility of crime rate. Drug testing welfare recipients, I'm going to go over the problem, the cause, how to solve this. I'm also going to touch base on opposition, because in most topics there is somebody who disagrees with you, so it's important to take point on what it is that they're arguing. Welfare programs are government subsidized for low-income families and individuals. Anyone receiving welfare must prove their income falls below a target. This was written in an article on The Balance by Kimberly Ameto on 10/21/2021. This defines what a government assistance program is, for those of you who didn't know. So we're going to dive right into the problem. The problem isn't people who necessarily use the drugs. It's more so that the government isn't performing the drug tests on welfare recipients. Illegal drug users can be found anywhere at any time, so you can't speculate on who, just because they're a welfare recipient doesn't mean that they are a drug user. But it is important to note that it is often seen that while in offices, while applying, there has been notes taken that people were nodding off, they were acting erratically, and these are all behaviors of current drug use. It is also important to note that these habits of a drug user is something that they do everyday life. So that recklessness that comes with drug use, are they going to be reckless in a possible job opportunity? Are they going to be reckless when it comes to raising their kids? Are they going to be driving recklessly? The theme of self-destructiveness can follow through with their whole entire life. So you can start to wean these people out, or start to help these people if a drug test was performed, instead of just handing out the money. I think it is also important to note that government assistance can help a lot of people, but it can also put people in the category of an endless cycle. So it could be an endless cycle of unemployment. It could be an endless cycle of continuous drug use. It could be an endless cycle of custody loss, of crime, of CPS being involved in your life. Now, of course, with every problem, there comes a cause. This cause can be because of a few reasons. So housing is something that is a government welfare program. It's not necessarily the housing itself, because a lot of people like to say that where government housing is, it's a high crime area, low income, which can be true, but the issue is more so that the government puts all of their welfare recipients in the same category. So if you're on welfare and I'm on welfare, we get put into one section, and the middle class people get put over here. This is just pushing anybody who's using drugs and on welfare into the same section, into the same section, into the same section, and that's putting all the bad in one. Social Security income, SNAP, TANF, and EITC are all welfare programs where the recipient receives some sort of cash. So whether it be on a debit card or a check or coupons or whatever, it's something that they can use for cash. So Social Security income, they might get that check, they might use some of it, but then all of a sudden, where'd that $200 go? Same thing for SNAP. There's ways where you can take cash advances on your SNAP card at certain grocery stores. People who are unemployed are almost twice as likely to struggle with addiction compared to those who are not. This was said by Editor-in-Chief of Connect Us, Natalie Rigoli, on 2/4/2019. This just shows that people who are struggling with an addiction are more likely to be repeaters. So the solution is to test for drug testing. You want to test because lower unemployment rate will be affected. You can't get a job if you fail a drug test. If we're testing them right off the bat, this will show us what barriers we have, what issues we do have. A social worker might be able to look and say, okay, this person has had drug use problems in the past. What job can we set them up with where an employer won't hire them because they have prior crime history? Another big thing is to identify their needs. So with the drug test being provided right off the bat, if there is a problem, it could assist in us, it could aid in us to jump in and help them. So, what about people's rights? Taxpayer dollars, stereotyping. The goal of these programs is to ensure that the funds being given through the welfare programs are spent on the items that are necessary for survival instead of additional drugs. This just shows that it's necessary that the money the government is giving is used on items for survival, not just items they need. So as much as you want to say someone, it's against their rights to invade and ask them to provide a drug test. It's really not, because they're getting money from a program that is funded by taxpayers and the government. So, no drug testing equals drug use, which could equal poor use of money, which could then just continue the cycle. So to stop the revolving door, it's going to benefit them, you, us. So I say we drug test for a welfare recipient to get benefits. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
No, I agree.
Okay, thank you. Can you show the rest of the crowd? Show yourself. Perfect. Thank you.